Hello, this is Piera Luna. This is a very magical day, quite a strong magical solstice, which deserved um, some input, some magical input for the channel for sure. You're right here in my room right now, different setting than always. I just got inspired writing what I felt about the day, and it feels so different and magical that I really didn't want to let go of what I was feeling, and so I started writing it down, and then I thought might as well actually share it. So this is my input for today for the solstice. I'm gonna take you here to my nightstand where I was writing what I was feeling, and here let me give you a little tour. I have as the centerpiece, this is today is not much about the perfect lighting, the perfect setting. It's just about passing the message and for it to be magical mostly, and that's what's most important. This what you're looking at is a symbol of Chinese magic, feng shui. This is a symbol of the perfect couple. It's on the left, it's a peacock, and on the right, of course, is a dragon. And it's basically like the Jin Yang couple, that they understand each other well because inside of them they have a part of the other, but their dominant parts are contrary to each other. So they really balance themselves pretty well, and they not only they balance themselves, but they ignite each other's spark in the right way, and as well they can also like the peacock actually is able to bring peace to the dragon, while the dragon also gives courage to the peacock. So it's like a really nice balance they have going on, and as well it's a symbol of very joyful couple. It's the perfect balance, but there's even joy and there's playfulness, and it's like that perfect bliss kind of a dynamic in between them. And here I have Virgin Mary, or Virgin Miriam, with baby Jesus, which I thought was very nicely printed, and it gives me that sense of peace. And so I have basically a combination here of some feng shui and some Christian mysticism. I love rosaries, so I have a collection of them. Some that I need to fix, like this one. This one's really, really pretty. This one belonged to my grandma, and it has little hearts. This one is yellow, and the other one is like purple with, I don't know, it has some very nice glimmer. Both of them have very nice glimmer to them. And here I have a message, something to remind me, a reminder, a very important reminder, and I'm sure it's not only for me but for everybody else. We go to bed and we take all our worries and all our concerns, and not only our concerns but the concerns of the entire planet with us, and we take it to bed. So it's a nice reminder that when we go to bed, to try to have some nice small little ritual that actually helps us disconnect from the craziness and our personal stresses and the world stresses, and just like the motto from the alcoholics, which is very, very wise, and we should all remind ourselves of that prayer, because it's important for everybody, not only with people with addictions. And then at the end, we all have our own personal addictions. They don't have to be to drugs or alcohol. It can be to behaviors or to patterns of ways of thinking and ways of reacting to things. So I really like that as this day ends, so does my attachment to it. I release my worries and concerns and find in their place a peaceful coexistence with life. And for the reason that I wanted to bring you here to my sacred place of my bedstand and all the things that are important to me. And here, this one is really nice too. This is love with all your heart, and that's Deuteronomy 6:5. That's a Bible quote. And I think that's the reason why I'm here, because that's basically the energy that I'm feeling today. We have was the winter solstice. It's of a very strange year, and we also have a strange, well, not strange, but an unusual, or it almost never happens, or it doesn't happen that frequently, that conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in the position that they are. They haven't been in this position, or according to the astrologers, in the last time that it happened was in 800 years ago, and some call it the Bethlehem Star. I was looking today at Facebook. There's discussions as to when Christ was born. Then there's all these discussions, and that they're true, about what are we actually celebrating during this time of the year. And then there's groups that are against any kind of idolatry, that are saying that there's a lot of mixture between pagan religions, which is true, in the celebration of winter and Christmas and the tree and Santa Claus and the presents, and there's so many different celebrations all around the world. I'm sorry, I'm shaking the phone terribly. I hope the message is better than my shooting, and that you'll forgive me for all the movement as I was getting inspired talking. The reason why we celebrate winter time, or we celebrate the time of the year. Where I live, we don't have winter. There's only two seasons, rainy and dry. But in the rest of the world, well, there's four seasons. People that there's, of course, throughout history, there's been all the celebrations to mark. I mean, you notice that the transition, that before, our whole civilization was based on looking at the stars for everything, for planning trips, for planning the harvest, to even taking political decisions. If they were going to war, they would consult the stars, and not only like for I don't know, forecast of how the war was going to turn out for whichever side, but because there's even events in nature that can be foretold in the stars. There's so many things. Even, well, of course, people are sailors, they know how important the stars are, at least the ones that still have knowledge of how to guide themselves through the stars. Most people, of course, they will use electrical and radars and sonars and all GPS to know where they are. But before, as humanity as a whole, before we had all this technology, our eyes were always on the stars. Before we had all this pollution in the night, where light pollution, where we weren't able to see the stars. There's even, well, I'm sure everybody's seen it on Facebook going around, that there was a big power outage someplace in I don't know where it was, maybe it was in the US. And all the people were calling the police station, saying there was something strange in the sky, and that they were actually looking at the Milky Way. They've never seen the Milky Way. That's how how much of a stranger they were to their surroundings, to the stars, to nature in its very basic form, because we've gone accustomed to living in concrete jungles and separated from the cycles of the earth. And what we are celebrating right now during the winter, and there's of course many ways to celebrate it. There's many we keep on being very limited, thinking there's only one way to do life, there's only one way to see religion, there's only one way to see divinity, there's only one way to praise God, there's only one God, there's only these rules, only these other rules, and everybody says only my church has the truth, and they say the other ones are lying. At the end, we're missing so much from actually uniting ourselves by the things that are similar, not in our differences, but on the things that are similar, that we, as a collective of humanity right now during winter, what we're even psychologically thinking and feeling is the end of the year. I mean, it's been a year that's passed, and it, of course, the human mind has a tendency to think of, okay, what did I do with this year? What happened this year? You also feel excited, even that excitement. I actually have a neighbor, and he's a great friend, and he was talking to me about how he feels like there's this joy during winter time, like people are feeling happier. And he actually is, he's an atheist. He doesn't believe in anything, and especially not rituals. But even him, he could feel like the vibe of the winter time, of the end of the year. And of course, there's moments where we sit down and we feel nostalgic for the things that did not happen during the year, or we make an account of the sad moments that we had during the year. And for a lot of people, they were very, very sad and very, very hard to go through. But at the end, here we are. We're still breathing. We're still alive. We're still healthy. Hopefully, everybody that's listening to this message is healthy right now. And if not, I'm sending you blessings and healing vibes. But that's what this season is about. But this solstice, back to the solstice and back to what I was canalizing, and it felt so strong that, and I even hesitate to say, oh, would people care about a message like this? I have to work on my on exposing myself more. But this one felt so magical. I said, you know what? I'm just going to jump into it. I don't care if it's perfect, not the perfect lighting, if it's moving. And of course, there's the background of the heater. The background noise of the heater is very cold. And I thought about turning it off, but then I was going to feel cold and uncomfortable. So I'm sorry, that's the background noise for today. But yes, back again to the message as I keep gravitating around the subject. And I think that's part of the energy as well. We're going like in spirals, going outwards and then inwards and outwards and then inwards. That's pretty much how this energy feels to me since the beginning of the day. It started low for me, and I felt like there was this energy of the purge at the beginning of the day. I really cried my eyes out for what I needed to cry my eyes out about the year, about the things, the mourning of the hard moments. And but here we are. And at the end of the day, I ended up laughing about things that I find comical, about awkward life moments that end up being very, very funny. Those kind of moments that are so awkward but yet funny that you just have to crack up and laugh like crazy till the tears fall down your cheeks. I love that. I love that. I think laughter is such a divine thing. It's heavenly sent. It's from the gods to be able, and even that the whole being able to laugh about your problems. You're not gonna laugh about them when you're having them, of course. Who's gonna do that? Unless it's something mild, then you can kind of laugh it off and make kind of like a cynical joke about it. But you know, when you've healed, when you can actually make a joke about a sad situation, and you can actually just be a little bit sour about it and just crack a laugh out of it. I think it really, laughter, well, of course, both tears and laughter, they really cleanse our soul and refresh our energy and refresh our bodies like from the inside out. I was also feeling for today this energy, and not because I'm usually overly into rites, Catholic rites, but I always, well, as you can tell, I do like my rosaries a lot. I always loved rosaries since I can recall, since I even knew what Catholicism was and the church was. I loved rosaries. Thank you. Thanks to one of my grandmas. But I was, and I like the nativity sets, not all of them, but I find them intriguing, especially the ones that look very loving and nice, and you can see like this loving setting of a family, of a baby being born in like in that in the barn. And you have the sense of like there's something important going on in such a humble location and in such humble circumstances, and it's just that unconditional love of a new life being brought into the earth, into the world. And that's the feeling for me of wintertime, of Christmas, or if you call it the holidays. I mean, of course you can, there's so many religions. It's not only about Christ being born, but it's that energy of the light being born again, of us being able to release what is gone and be able to birth something new. And of course, it's not such an easy process, because I'm sure, and I think the perfect example of it is birthing, like of Mother Mary birthing her child. And there's many other tarot readers that have been going through that same, they've been feeling this wave of birthing ourselves, of the birth of a birthing of a new era even. And it feels as strong as for me to say it like this, and then feel confident about saying it, because it feels, my intuition resonates so much with it. We're also birthing our new selves if we want to. And here we are the designers, here that we are the creators, and we can decide who we want to birth and what we're letting go of. Because of course, to be able to be born, we have to let go of the old selves, like the phoenix, to burn everything to the ground, or what needs to be burnt into the ground, so that we can rebuild ourselves from the ashes. There was also another message that I was feeling very strongly, and it was about alignment. And it was not like I was forcing myself to think about alignment because of the alignment of the planets, but at the end of the day, it just swooned on me, like I don't know, like a ray. It was, this is the time to align. And you know what I did? Well, of course you don't know what I did, so I'm gonna tell you. I just went into the bathroom and I looked at myself right in the eyes for a very, very long time, until I felt comfortable looking at myself, staring at myself so deeply. And I just started meditating on what I needed to tell my soul, what I needed to tell myself to bring all my pieces back together. I mean, not that maybe just by saying it is going to happen, but I don't know, I had that conviction that today, at that moment, it was possible to align if I really wanted to, and if I really believed in that. And so I basically I stared at my own eyes, and I told myself and my soul, and that I actually wanted to make peace with all my past lives, with all my past in this life, with all my wounds, with everything that I was unaligned with, and that I lovingly wanted to align with everything back again into the point of now, in that moment where I was looking and staring at myself in the eyes, bringing myself back to that moment, in that alignment, in that place, making also peace with my present and with my future, and knowing that I am not in control of everything, and that actually letting go was encouraged, and believing and having faith that there's a purpose for everything if we align with our hearts. And that alignment, of course, and as well, the real center of it is aligning with your heart, because our hearts connect us all together in this electrical grid of our planet, of the universe, of all the multi-universes, of everything that is creation. That drum, that beat of our hearts, that beat with which we can connect to others. We connect to their joys, we connect to their sadness, we connect to injustice, we connect to justice. That heart, that feeling, that wherever you feel that it is, but that's mostly what we call our heart. And it actually, it's located in our heart, because it is our heart that starts pounding very fast when we're in love. It's our heart that starts beating very slow when we're very scared, or when we're very sad. So it is a moment to connect with the beating and the drum of our hearts in whatever way it feels better for you. But during these days, usually during, before, and after a solstice, is a great time to align with the energy, align with yourself, make peace with your past, make peace with your present, make peace with your future. Stop trying to make everything perfect. Just let go with the flow, of course. Keep going strong, and keep being focused on what you can do one task at a time, one day at a time. And and back to what I was saying about the mantra, it's also of AA, which I believe is so wise and so important for all of us to remind ourselves each day is, and I don't know it by heart, I should have written it down, but you know it well, to ask God, divinity, the universe, or your higher self, whatever you believe in, to guide you, to be able to know the difference between what you can change and what you cannot change, and to have peace with that as well. That really didn't went that well. I should have written it down. I totally forgot the words, but you know the words. I'll write them down. You know what I mean. We have to come to terms in life, and that is the thing, the balance in life, that yin and yang, of knowing there's things you can control, and you should be in charge, and you should be the captain of your life and be in control of the things that are no longer serving you. Yes, you should change them, but also to become wise on knowing and understanding which are the things that you cannot change, and just to accept that, let go of that, and keep on going your path to wherever you want to go and wherever it feels right for you. And as well, of course, the hardest lesson, and the lesson for 2020, is to learn to serve the tough times of life well, with inner peace. Because, and I was talking about this with a friend today, and I thought it was very important. If we do not have inner peace, we cannot not do even the most simplest things or tasks, including just living, including just passing on through one day. If you do not have peace during the entire day, or during 1 hour, you had a miserable hour. If you didn't have peace during the entire day, you had a miserable day, of course. So, and some people are going through what I meant to say, and some people are going through so many rough things, but they're able to maintain their inner peace. And by maintaining their inner peace, they can conquer any battles. And that's what we should all try to strive on, to keep on meditating. It's important nowadays, with so many thoughts, so many things going on, so many things to solve, to at least try to get at least half an hour of each day to meditate, whatever works for you. For me, the rosary, praying the rosary works wonders. I'll share with you in some other video how I pray my rosary, how I like to pray it. I'm not saying that's the perfect way or the best way, but that's at least my way, and it brings me a lot of peace. But whatever brings you a lot of peace, be it walking, looking at sunsets, reading, listening to music, dancing, cooking, arts and crafts, whatever works for you, whatever rocks your boat, or just, and of course, it also includes putting your whole life behind when you're doing whatever works for you, to meditate, and to meditate on what's going on well for you. Gratitude each day, by including the exercise of having gratitude every day. Gratitude about the simplest things you have. Your energy changes during the day, and when your energy changes, your opportunities changes, because you're actually aligning to other things, and you're cultivating inner peace. And with inner peace, you can have everything falling around you, and you're still able to function and to be grateful that you're alive. So that was the message. Blessings to all. I hope this message is helpful to somebody out there. Anyways, I wanted to get the magic out there, because it is worth it. And ride that wave. I hope we all nicely awaken to the unconditional vibe of love. Bye.